My dear viewers, this is a new edition of Arab Affairs. My name is Amal Mukhtar. We're going to go through the latest developments in the Arab world. A short break, and I'm going to be back with you. Welcome back. Following talks in Istanbul, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held a press conference with his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan. Addressing the press conference, Shukri stressed that Egypt and Turkey are having a great role in the regional issues and in working on stopping the escalating cycle of violence. We have more in the following report. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held a joint press conference with his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan after talks in Istanbul. Addressing the press conference, Shukri stressed that Egypt and Turkey are having a great role in the regional issues and in working on stopping the escalating cycle of violence. He also called for an immediate ceasefire, recognizing the legitimate rights of Palestinian people. Shukri also added that Egypt to host Turkish delegation to prepare for Egyptian president visiting Turkey in the near future. For his part, Turkish Fidan said he discussed with his Egyptian counterpart grave situation in Gaza and efforts to deliver humanitarian aid there and what can be long run for a two-state solution. He also hailed the Egyptian role and efforts to find a solution for the situation in Gaza Strip and allowing humanitarian aid to Gazan people, pointing that there is cooperation and coordination between the two countries in reaching solutions for the crises in Gaza Strip and regional issues. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri has held a closed session of talks with his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan at the beginning of the current visit to Turkey. The talks aim at boosting joint efforts to increase bilateral cooperation in all fields and levels and coordination on regional and international challenges. Shukri also meets Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Shukri's visit to Turkey comes within the framework of the steps taken by Egypt and Turkey to upgrade the level of bilateral relations and following up on what has been agreed on during the meeting between President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and his Turkish counterpart recently in Cairo. Resuming our program Arab Affairs. Following the talks in Istanbul, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held a joint press conference with his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan and to shed more light on this important talks and the press conference, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Abdulrahman, journalist and political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, good afternoon to you. Hello to you and the dear viewers.
Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Abdulrahman, how did you see the importance of the talks between Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri and his Turkish counterpart?
Continuing the effort to rebuild and reconnect the strong relations between the nation on too many levels. Mr. Shukri, Mr. Foreign Affairs Minister have paid this visit and reach out for more cooperation with the Turkish side, economically and politically too. I believe we have strong cooperation right now on too many levels. I believe that the Gaza Strip conflict is one file that we both agree and taking the same, almost the same situations towards and against the Zionist aggression against the Arabic nation in Palestine and in Gaza Strip. And of course, we have a lot in common. Economically, we have re-established the relations economically and on the two past years, and we have great expectations for those economical ties to be strengthened up throughout the expected visit should be paid soon, inshallah, by Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Turkey. And of course, this significant step crowns the honorable and the sincere efforts that Egypt has started to eliminate any existence for any hostilities throughout our own national security borders, reaching out with our neighbors with hands of peace, reaching out for to achieve prosperity for the whole nations in the territory, in the region, in Egypt and in Turkey, and of course the nations all around us. This is the main headline for a meeting between Mr. Hakan, Mr. Foreign Affairs Minister of Turkey, and Mr. Sameh Shukri, our Minister of Foreign Affairs. And of course, I believe that the next step will be more investments from Turkey into Egypt, along with opening arms for all nations from all over the world to have the opportunity to cooperate with the private sector or the governmental sector in terms of our own national security, as well as opening more chances for workers, for work opportunities, for pouring investments into the Egyptian economy. And of course, we have a long history on all levels between Egypt and the Turkish nation.
Yes, okay. Also, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri said that Egypt is to host a Turkish delegation in order to prepare for the visit that is going to take place in the near future by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. So how did you also follow the preparations underway for this visit?
Well, this is a very important visit, and historical visit, I might add, as well as we are re-establishing and reconnecting the relations on the base of the Cooperation Council, the Egyptian-Turkish Cooperation Council, which was relaunched again and revived again after it was frozen for years in the past years, as we have already passed the crisis in our relations lasted almost 7 years. Right now, we have open arms for all nations from the whole world to have this friendly recipe, this common vision of understanding based on our mutual interests for the good of the nations in Egypt and in Turkey and other nations, of course. We have already enhanced and made better economical laws to make it easy for the investor from abroad to come and invest, to come and start its own project, especially in the field of industries that we have in this field, especially a lot to depend upon and a lot to hope for establishing more, which I believe that industry and agriculture fields are the very important and significant fields to establish and to strengthen the pillars of our own economy. Well, of course, for the good of the two economies in Egypt and in Turkey.
Yes, so Mr. Abdulrahman, also the Turkish foreign minister hailed the Egyptian role and the efforts Egypt is exerting in order to find a solution for the situation in Gaza Strip, and also Egypt's keenness on delivering the humanitarian aid. So how do you see the importance of this and the importance of the cooperation that is taking place between Egypt and Turkey in delivering the humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip?
As we have kept the borders and the borders opened to deliver the humanitarian aid from all over the world, as we have from the beginning of the crisis, and as we already received a lot from Turkey, lots of aid to be transported into the Palestinian side in Gaza Strip. And of course, we hail that patriotic and humanitarian action by Turkey. And of course, the people in the Arab nation in Palestine and in Gaza Strip, they need each and every package of aid and supplies to preserve those who are still alive in there and facing the most brutal attack and brutal assault by the Zionist existence against the civilians in Gaza Strip and in Palestine. And yesterday and the day before yesterday, it was in Tulkarm in the West Bank, not only in Gaza Strip, but in whole of Palestine. So we need to concentrate all efforts to start finding a final and an end to this aggression, to stop this aggression by all means, by all tools, by all powers we have diplomatically, politically, economically, whatsoever.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Amr Abdulrahman, journalist and political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, an Israeli airstrike on a house in Gaza's southern city of Rafah have killed at least 9 of them are children, the hospital authorities have said on Saturday, as Israel pursued its nearly 7-month offensive in the besieged Palestinian territory. The strikes have raised the death toll in the Gaza Strip since the war started 7 months ago to 34,049 people. We have more in the following report. An Israeli airstrike on a house in Gaza's southern city killed at least 9 people, 6 of them children, hospital authorities said on Saturday, as Israel pursued its nearly 7-month offensive in the besieged Palestinian territory. The strike late Friday hit a residential building in the western Tel Sultan neighborhood of the city of Rafah, according to Gaza's civil defense. The bodies of 6 children, 2 women and a man were taken to Rafah's Abu Yusuf al-Naggar hospital, according to the hospital's records. Despite calls for restraint from the international community, the Israeli government has insisted for months that it intends to push a ground offensive into the city, where it says many of the remaining Hamas militants are holed up. Such a ground operation has not materialized so far. However, the Israeli military has repeatedly carried out airstrikes on and around. The Gaza Health Ministry said Saturday the bodies of 37 people killed by Israeli strikes were brought to hospitals in Gaza over the past 20 weeks. It said hospitals also received 68 wounded. The latest figures bring the overall Palestinian death toll from the Israeli-Hamas war to at least 34,049 and a number of wounded that reached to 76,901, the ministry have said. Tension has also been high in the occupied West Bank, where an Israeli military raid on Friday in the Nur Shams refugee camp killed at least 4 Palestinians, including 3 fighters. Palestinian health authorities said one of those killed was a 15-year-old boy shot dead by the Israeli fire. The Islamic Jihad fighter group confirmed the deaths of 3 members, including one who is said was a local military commander. The Israeli military said 4 Israeli soldiers were slightly wounded in the operation. Sarai al-Quds, military arm of Islamic Jihad, said its fighters had engaged in heavy gun battles on Saturday morning with Israeli forces in the town of Tulkarm, adjacent to Nur Shams.